Well, do you ever feel like there's just not enough hours in your day? And even if people have more time, a recent survey found that a majority of them would spend that time catching up on the chores, maybe keep adding to the list, right?
Right. So you can create more time, but you can make the most of 24 hours in a day. So joining us now to talk about it is Mama 4, Lisa Cullum. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's count it down. You're a mom of 4. You also built your own business from scratch while taking care of rescue animals, farm animals at that. How do you manage to get all this done?
Yes, it is a little bit crazy, but with the 4 kids and the animals and the businesses, I always go back to, I think my secret is I'm a scheduler and a planner, and I take advantage of every second of every day.
Oh, they're big kids too. Oh,
yes,
wow.
I have from 17 to 6. So I've got 17, 14, 11, and 6. So I always say I've got every grade level covered.
Wow.
Yes, you do. You know what, though? They always say if you want something done, ask a busy person. So I know you are going to share some of your productivity hacks with us. But first, you say that our to-do lists are often lying to us. What does that mean?
Yeah, so, when you write out all the things you have to do, it can be a little overwhelming. And most people look at their list of things to do and think there's no way I can do that all. And I'm a big advocate of a list. I think I'm successful because of my list, but it has to be done right. And so I always say that my number one tip with lists is rewrite it every day. I take time every night and I rewrite it, reorganize it, because things change. And I don't want that same list where I'm scratching off things and writing notes everywhere. That can get a little stressful and overwhelming. And then once I've rewritten it, then I prioritize and I delegate. And so from there, I can decide what has to be done. Because let's be realistic. If I've got 40 things, I'm not going to get 40 things done the next day. So I prioritize and see what I can delegate out. And then probably my favorite part of my list or my tip is that schedule things out from your list. So although it may look like a lot, when you start scheduling out, okay, I'm going to spend this much time on this project, this much time on these emails, then that's when you realize you can get it all done and you probably have extra time in the day.
Okay, so when you first started your business, you didn't make time for self-care, but you say you have since learned how important this really is. So how were you able to change that, and why was it important?
Yeah, I think as my kids have grown up, I've realized the importance of putting myself as one of the top priorities, because we know, and I'm an educator of 20 years, I know kids do what they see. They rarely do what they hear, but they do what they see. And there's lots of research that shows when they become adults, they do what they saw growing up. And when you think about it, if moms, we're putting ourselves last and putting our kids first, and we're not taking care of ourselves at all, that's what they see, and then that's what they may expect. And I don't want my boys to grow up and think their wives should have to put themselves last. And I don't want my daughter to grow up thinking she has to do that. So I've switched it, and I want them to see me being a good mom, but also, taking care of myself and doing things that make me happy and making sure I fit in self-care into my life. So I've kind of done a 180 and made sure that I'm showing them that and how important it is.
I love to hear that. All right, so let's get to some of your tricks on getting stuff done in the time that you're actually given, because oftentimes we can get things done, but maybe not in what we've given ourselves or allocated to ourselves.
Yeah, I'm big on pockets of time. I always call these like mini pockets of time. So I'll give you an example. My kids play basketball, and we're there an hour early before every game. I'm just sitting there. So many times I'm bringing my work with me, where I'll catch up on work, or I'm popping in my AirPods and catching up on my Netflix show and taking that self-care route. So, I just don't sit there. I like to use every ounce of time I can get. And that's when I go back to that list and I'm scheduling out things. I realize, oh, I've got 30 minutes here. I can start to work on this or that. And also, I always bring to everyone's attention, especially if you work from home or trying to get things done at night, take that time to prep your list. I said, I take that 5 minutes at night, reorganize it and prioritize it. Make sure that you're taking that time to set yourself up for success the next day. Mm-hmm. And then always, if you're working from home, or like I said, with kids running around, if you have the are able to have a babysitter or a grandparent, someone help just for a couple hours, getting 2 to 3 hours of undistracted work time can get you just as much done in 8 hours of distracted time. So I say if you are able to get that time, you'll be surprised how much you can get done when you're focused for those 2 to 3 hours.
All right. Good words of advice there. Well, Lisa, thank you so much for joining us. We'll have to get our list together and then run them by you.
Yes. Thank you so much.
And for more of Lisa's tips, you can check out her website or follow her on social media at Lisa Cullum CEO.